Hey guys, what's going on? I have changed my scenery a little bit because the weather has gotten so beautiful, and I wanted to give you guys a little bit of a different experience to speak my truth. And from this morning, I had a really great talk with Kyle O'Toole, who is my strength and conditioning coach, and he literally asked me questions that I think a lot of you guys would benefit from, just because I know that a lot of people are kind of going through like a hard time right now and adjusting, and I offered a little bit of just a positive spin to it, changing your circumstances in a way. So check that out on Kyle O'Toole's page. It's been all over my page, so I'm very excited for that. And today's guest, I'm another Canadian athlete in tune with the theme here. Liz is a two-time Olympian. She's a javelin thrower, gold medalist, gold and silver medalist at the Pan American Games in 2015 and 2018. And she's so amazing. She's so wonderful. She has a great personality. She's more outgoing than I am, which I didn't think was possible. But I'm going to add her so we can get started and talk to her about what's been going on and her life. And I'm sorry if you guys hear crazy things in the background. My street is a little intense here. Hey, what's going on?
Oh, it's so good to be here. I'm in between my lifts today. So yeah, I'm just like, okay, I've got 10 sets of squats and 10 sets of bench today, and I'm just trying to feed myself. And I was like, this is perfect. I can just chill out and excuse to like hang out with my friend while I recover.
I literally saw your workout today, and I was like, she crazy. And I saw your hands like out, like you like holding the weight and squatting. I was like, bitch, I would topple over. So quickly. No one would even, my coach would be like, don't even try it. Please don't try. But how is training, to be honest? How's it going?
It's really good, actually.
Good.
Yeah, we're being really careful with the exercise prescription right now because, you know, like getting physio is kind of like an issue if you want it at the moment.
Yeah.
So people are like, I see people like, I'm going so hard right now, and I'm like, that's a bad idea if you get injured because like there's no fixing it.
Dog. I'm like, nah, I'm not playing with it. No, boo. If my Theragun can't fix it, I'm not about to go above it.
Totally, but I'm loving it because we're shooting a lot of like lateral lifts. There's not a lot of split in my lifts right now because if you're a little unbalanced, you might hurt yourself. Yep. So it was like when I was learning when I did my last cycle, I was doing snatch, and I haven't done snatch since like 2013. And so when we were doing it, I was like, okay, like I'm not going heavy. I'm doing this for like perfect technique. Like the whole point is to relearn snatch well. Yeah. And so right now, since I'm probably not going to compete until January, I'm like, this is a great opportunity to do lifts right and to activate what you want to activate. And it's not like I'm not looking over at somebody over there lifting more than me or somebody who's putting on more weight. It's like there's no ego, because I mean, I only feel the people who watch me or the people, whatever I share with people on Instagram. It's great.
Exactly.
My secret workouts.
It's true, and I love that you're being super honest about that, because it is. I feel like so many people, especially me, because when I spoke to Janelle, the beach is now open, and everyone is here now. Like, everyone is coming down. So that's why I'm like on my porch. I'm like, I just want sunlight, but it's now everyone's getting crazy. But when I was talking to Janelle, we were just like, yeah, we see all these people like doing all this stuff. And then of course, like John, our agent, sends us info like, oh, the meets are coming. My coach looked at me like, boo-boo, where do you think you're jumping?
Yes.
Where do you think you're about to compete? Did you talk to your coach about that, or did you make the decision that you're not going to compete when they open it up from August to October?
Well, I mean, like, it'd be so nice. Like, I feel so good. I'm like, oh man, I'm ready to throw. Like, I feel so great. Things are moving so well. Like, I've never moved this way before. But, you know, track and field is not a sport where you outsmart other people, really. It's, you know, I mean, I guess it is on the track, but in the field, like, it's my turn and I go and it's controlled circumstances.
Yeah. And you can't cheat your way there. Like, there's no way that you can outsmart anything because it's you and your implement.
Yeah, and we peak for certain times of the year too. So it's like, okay, well, I can try to do a mini peak in August, September, and then another mini peak in January to try and qualify again. And then because I can't, if I qualify in August, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And
I
so
feel like it's weird that they're opening it up, because for me, I'm like, I see like obviously World Athletics and they're having like these little pole vault challenges and for people who have pole vault in their backyard and things like that. But for me, I'm like, it's a little, for me, again, I speak my truth. I think it's a little unfair to all athletes because all of us have different limitations. So I live in New Jersey, that's like, and so New Jersey and New York they're on lockdown, like for the most part. So I'm borrowing equipment and stuff like that. And I haven't jumped over a bar in over 8 weeks. So in my head, I'm just like, now it's like, well, do I stay home and keep training and then miss out on all of this? Do I go and compete because maybe something good can happen, but it doesn't really count if I qualify? It's just like, what are they doing it for at this point?
I don't know. Like for me, it's you've probably noticed like I'm doing a ton of yoga right now, and a huge like focus in my training is to lengthen a lot of my tendons. So I'm trying to like get the flexibility in the tendon, but then to try go from saying, okay, tendons, stretch as far as you can, and then they're kind of like, and grow. And then to try and translate that to a super explosive javelin throw within a couple of months, like that was like when I thought, okay, I'm going to back up and I'm going to be able to take the time right now because I have 8 months before I compete. I can stretch these now, and then I can work the strength into the new length in the next couple cycles. So I'll have even more pull than before. But it's not something that can be rushed. It's something that's so slow. And it's like, it's kind of an audacious goal to be like, I want this much more pull in my javelin throw. So looking at the training and, looking at the long term, like to have these anatomical adaptations really takes a lot of patience. And it's not like I'm going to become super explosive and super flexible simultaneously. Like, it's not going to happen.
And I think that's the toughest part about programming. It's kind of just like you get there and you're just like, oh, I have all this programming. And then when they came out that it was coming out, my coach was like, well, you can use them as like practice meets. And I'm like, yeah, because that's what it would be. If there's money involved, fine, but I don't know who I'm going against, and I'm using them as practice. I'm pretty much going to like be training throughout this period because, again, that's not what my cycle, like my program cycle was meant for. My programming is for Worlds and for Olympics, and that's it, and that's not right now. And so I'm glad that you are focusing, and that's what I really like about this time is that I'm focusing on my weaknesses. And a lot of the weaknesses, is about like the mental. The mental aspect of track and field has always been like this little dome that really nobody has really gotten into. But I love talking to athletes because they're just like, I've been reading and I've been, getting in touch with myself and focusing on having fun in the sport. What have you really, besides, lengthening your muscles, what has this time been for you? And what do you want to take away from this time?
So I'm funny. I did the exact opposite of what everybody else did because I've really kind of honed in on my mental game, and I've got, hey, TC, Orlando, what's up? I've really kind of got that down. Like before all my throwing practices, I do my mental workout, which involves kind of telling myself what my goals are and believing that that's what I'm already capable of, kind of, and just being like, you're doing the work to get there and trust the process. And then I walk myself through the next biggest meet of the year. So I'll walk myself through winning the Olympic Games and what it's going to feel like, what it's going to smell like, what I'm going to be wearing, who's going to be standing there, what if I miss the throw. And then I walk through the next closest meet, and then I walk myself through my practice. And then I focus on some technical stuff and I go to practice. So I kind of already have this whole thing, and I really I was doing it pretty religiously before every single throwing practice, which is about
That's incredible.
3 days a week. And so when this quarantine happened and everything shut down, it takes a lot out of you to train a lot and train at that consistency, intensity, and it takes a lot to do the mental workouts. And I said, okay, my next meet isn't for, at that time, 9 months. I need to have some really intense training for the last maybe a year and a half. I need to step back. I need to recharge so that I can have this intensity again, kind of like August, September, because then I can pick it up and maintain it again.
Got you.
So I think I'm very aware. I've been through 2 Olympics. I'm very aware of burnout.
Yes.
And I'm very aware of being like, oh man, that went so well. I'm ready to hit so hard again. And then it's just not full.
Yes. That's something I can definitely attest to. Not being a two-time Olympian, it definitely, I mean, I had an Olympic hangover in 2017. For real. And I was so in denial of it. And now I look back, I'm like, why didn't I just like take a step back? Why didn't I allow that for myself? But when you look around and then your agent starts sending you things and your coaches are doing things and they're like, oh, you're being weak. And I'm just like, okay, I got to just kind of go around. But I wish had given myself that time to be like, I need to take a step back. And that's it. I'm cool with that. So, I mean, you've been doing this this is going on 12 years?
I think I joined the pro circuit in 2011. Oh, wow. But I've been doing tracks like pretty seriously since I was 15. So I guess that's 16 years now.
Wow. Yeah, I saw your whole list. I mean, you were in the U18 and all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, wow. I mean, I've seen your pictures from when you started to now. Besides, getting older, you know what I mean? And knowing things about yourself. How did you, because I feel like in your pictures, I can see such a confidence growth. Just like even like with your hair, because hair is it's a loud statement for women, for me especially. So just like your hair, your makeup, your posture, and all of the pictures, everything was a little bit different. When you were a little bit younger, it looked like, not like uncomfortable like for you, but it just wasn't like you. And now I feel like all of your pictures are just like, this is me. I'm a fucking badass, and this is how you're going to take me. And I love it. So, again, I don't want to sound redundant, but because I don't know if you've ever done these kind of interviews, but I know there are a lot of female athletes that feel like they have to fit one kind of mold. So for you, how did you grow into loving yourself, owning who you are, and being confident enough to just try new things and have like this overall presence?
Well, I think it's, so for those of you who don't know, I'm 6'1". So, and I don't slouch when I stand. I very much I take up my space, and it's, I know I intimidate people sometimes, but I know that when I was younger though, I was like, it didn't last that long, but I was initially, when I was like in the end of high school, a little bit uncomfortable with my height. Yeah. And I just felt like I took up so much space, and I didn't like that it wasn't a choice for me. And I hadn't mastered anything yet. I didn't feel overly confident on some things. And I think when I started to get good at Javelin, I was like, this is my space. And I walk onto the runway, and it was my apron, it was my runway. And, with these smaller meets and stuff, when you're younger, it's just like, y'all are here to watch me.
Yep, I'm about to put on a show.
I'm about to put on a show. And so it was really interesting that way. So I kind of really started, so when I graduated high school, I think it was 150 pounds and 6 feet tall. And then I grew again in university, and now I'm 185 pounds. And I think I'm probably graduated at, I don't know, 16% body fat, and now I'm around 13. And it's interesting because sometimes I'm uncomfortable with the fact that I have size 12 or 14 shoulders. Yes. But my waist is size 8.
Yeah. I was to say, I was like, you're tiny.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you go back on my video that I posted today, even you can see how big my back muscles are. And it was something that I had really waved with, I'm kind of uncomfortable, or this is really weird. It's not a lot of women have this. But then I would get compliments from men, and it wasn't sexual in any way. It was just you have a really strong back. That's super cool. And then I was like, it is cool. And now I walk around in a sports bra or a backless shirt, and I'm like, that's right. I like to show off that I work really, really, really hard. Yeah. And this body is not typical, but it's effortful, and it's not something that happened by accident. Wow. So it's kind of I know a lot of women are really uncomfortable with their bodies or getting better sometimes. And I think it's one of those things where, your body's going to be whatever it is if you work for it. Yeah. And, you should be proud of your work. And my body is my canvas. It's not me. It's something that I control. So I think a lot of my confidence in my pictures is like, this is a depiction of my body of work. Whether you see it when I'm throwing javelin or I'm just walking down the street, you look at me and you're like, that girl does some kind of sport.
Yeah.
And she's obviously worked for it. And it says a lot about you. So it's kind of like, I've just come to know it a lot more and realized that it's work. It's not typical, but it's very unique.
I love that. That's such a positive and strong statement. And I think it's something that more girls need to, again, just embrace. You need to embrace who you are, how you were built, and you need to show off the effort that you've put into it. You shouldn't be ashamed, like hiding it. I don't know if you get this, but when I go to the beach, like, obviously for the most part, we're always in bathing suit, weather, like, shape. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so I'll go to the beach, and I'm not afraid to wear certain things and try certain things. And I always get stares, and I'm just like, is it, I always wonder, like, is it, like, flattering, or are you hated? And I'm like, either way, I could give two shits. But it's just, I wonder what it is, because I wish more women were just more confident in themselves. And I got asked a question yesterday in social media. What is the difference between, hold on, I got to look it up, because it was such a good question. And I was in shock that I was like, that's a really, okay. So where do you feel like the line is between motivating and damaging?
Motivated and damaging for
like Instagram, like photos and stuff like that, because it's true, because for us, we're very confident and we can see other things and be like, oh, you know, good for her, where other people may look at it and be like, oh, I'm not like her, and like, oh, I guess I don't look like her. And so it was an interesting concept of like, when I post something, I always want people to get motivated. I want people to be like, oh, I can do this, rather than, and I made the example of like the Instagram models where it's like, they're just posting so that you can be envious in a sense. Yes. And I think it takes, obviously it's perception, of course, but do you feel like there is a line, or is it all about that person and what they're looking for?
Well, I mean, I thought about this when I was trying to create a profile, and I was trying to, like, you know, it's like, okay, what do I want my Instagram to be about?
Yeah.
I mean, simple, right? Like, do I want, like, and you look at profiles and you see people, and sometimes, you know, okay, there's lots of beautiful women on the internet, right? And yeah, they're going to get lots of likes because they look great in the photo, or, you know, photo's really well set up, it's lighting, they've spent time posing, like they know what they're doing with all this stuff. Yeah. And I'm like, I'm not a model. Like, that's not, I don't know how to pose. I don't know how to do those things. Yeah. I don't have like this like face where I can be like, ha, magic. Yeah. It's not going to happen. And I was like, okay, like the things that I'm good at, like things that if I share this, it could enhance someone else's life somehow, right? Yeah. Like how, like that's, if I'm going to have a presence online, that's what I want it to be. So I was like, okay, I'm going to post Javelin. If it's about Javelin, working out, nutrition, well-being, mental headspace, if it's literally something to do with being an athlete, it can be a story. Okay. A story. It can be a post. Yeah. If it's me being funny, or my life, or like little quirks and stuff, that can go in stories. Gotcha. So, and that thing is like, so any post that I have about Javelin, I often break down what I'm doing with Javelin technique, because then it's not like, oh, I wish I could throw like that. It's like, hey, here's what I'm working on. Yeah. Or even today in my post about lifting, I said, this is why my arms are wide. This is the cue that I'm focusing on. This is why I'm pushing my feet this way, because it translates to Javelin this way. And so, it's more it's more education, and it's, you know, it's not necessarily what you need to do. It's what I'm doing, and you can draw inspiration or ideas from. Yes. So I think that's a real way of providing your 2 cents, is showing what you're doing, why you're doing something, and explaining it. Because as soon as people don't know what went into it, then it feels hopeless. Yeah. But if you can give them some background, or like, you know, this is the reason why I like to do this, or like really breaking it down, or I started here and I did X, Y, Z before I got to this. Yes. Yes, yes. So, showing the story of it all and the journey. Showing the story of it all, I think, is really important, because like I show myself tripping and falling all the time on Instagram. Like there's a lot of, I don't know why there's a lot of pictures of me injuring myself on my account, but it's like, this is true. Like,
it happens. Yeah.
It happens. And like, it's not smooth sailing. And like, other people need to see that. Like, if you go through the whole account, it's like, wow, this weird stuff happened.
Yeah, but it's true. And I think that's also one of the reasons why I did start this show, was because I do like just speaking to people and getting their perspective of what's going on and what really is happening in their journey, and really being able to, again, speak their truth. Because, I feel like that's the problem. There's like a gap. It's like, yes, you have all these great pictures, but it didn't happen in a day. Everybody sees us at the Olympics, at these meets, and they're like, oh, you look great. Or it's like, oh, you look heavy, or you don't look, you didn't get a medal, or whatever it is. And I'm just like, you don't know the journey that I've been through. And
you don't know what happened that day.
Exactly. And for me, I'm like, I'm not going to allow something as superficial as like a picture, or again, in this sense, a medal, that's going to say like, oh, you didn't work hard enough. No, I did. It's like I PR whatever amount, but you guys don't see that because it didn't amount in a medal to you. But I'm still proud of where I'm at, my journey, and what I'm going through. And I love that about your page, because it is true. Like when you started doing like Pilates and stuff, I was just like, ooh, wonder why she's doing all this. And you explained it, and I was like, man, I really need to start stretching. I was like, I really got to get my flexibility, child. And that's literally something that I've been working on, is my flexibility. So I think when you look at a page, I do feel that it's important to get motivated and to be inspired by something rather than let it tear you down.
Yeah.
And that's definitely something that I get from your page. And in line with, your page and all that kind of stuff, I feel like one of the questions that I got asked was, what is like a theme or a slogan that I hope people see from like my life, my page, and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah.
What do you think? What do you want your fans and people who follow you to get from you, your journey, and your social media?
Breeds results. I mean, these little things add up, and like, one of my coach's favorite sayings is, "What gets measured gets managed." And we always forget where we were at before, and where we were at 6 weeks ago. And it's so funny because I've been taking videos of doing this wheel pose in yoga, where you basically bend backwards and all your arms on the ground and your hips are up towards the sky.
Okay.
And I remember I took a video on the first day when I could only put my feet on the couch because I needed my feet to be so elevated that I feel like that's the only way I could possibly get the pose. And then I graduated to just elevating up my hands on some blocks angled against the wall. And then I finally got to being on the floor. Yeah. And then I got to the floor and be able to extend my hips. And I took videos of all these things.
Wow.
And so when I can look back at it, I can be like, okay, it took me this long to get this far. It took me from garbage to like half decent. It took me 5 weeks. Yeah. And it's like, okay, what else could I take from garbage to decent?
Yes. I love
Or what can I take from decent to excellent?
Yeah.
And so when you start to measure things or track things, or, just knowing that, like, I like to have checklists, and it'll be like the whole month is laid out. And it's like, did I get 8 hours of sleep? Did I drink 3 liters of the water?
I see that in you too. I'm like, oh man, I need to start my checklist. Like, again, your page really motivates me. I'm always just like, I got to do this. Let me get up and get it. Let me get started.
But it's not even about the every day. It's about, it's not like if you miss a day, it's not that you failed. It's that I did for a month. 80% of the time, I did X, Y, Z.
Yeah.
And you're like, I did a month of that kind of stuff. Like, that's amazing.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of like you need to schedule in these little like happiness boosts of reminders of how hard you're working and what you're doing.
Yeah.
Whether it's like recording yourself or kind of writing it down, or just little reminders that like it is going to add up. And when you have a bad day, it's like, it's okay. Look at all the things you did before this. And you're like, okay, I could just have a bad day and suffer today.
Yeah.
But it's okay to have a bad day.
Absolutely. And my coach was calling. I think it's interesting because I feel like the misconception is that we just don't have bad days. And I'm like, where do you guys get this shit from? Like, of course we have bad days. Like, we're training for something that's like, so like, it's literally in a sense 48 hours. Like, for 4 years, of course we're going to have to wake up and stay focused every single day. So I love that you are an advocate of it. It's a journey and it takes time. And this is going to be your 3rd Olympics. So obviously there has been more of a journey for you because you've experienced so much more. But you're very open and honest about it on your page and exactly when you're talking to you, and I absolutely love it. And I think what I like about it is we see your progress. So it's not something where it's like, oh, she was already good at it. You can start from square one and you can get better at it. And I think that's very important for people to know and understand. And so I really thank you for being so open and so great about this. I've been having a great conversation.
Me too.
Hey, Ken, you want to do your piece before I forget? I forgot one time, girl. And he was just like, oh, I guess I just put on my makeup for nothing. I was like, get away from me.
Right, bro. I had my hair done and everything.
God. So this is my husband, Ken. Ken, this is Liz.
Nice to meet you, Liz.
Hi, Ken.
Ken knows nothing about track and field.
Not a damn thing.
And he likes to just ask random questions to my guests. So
I remember you asked Annika one, and I was crying laughing at her facial expression. I was like, that's so great. Like, Annika's like,
everyone's reaction is exactly the same. Everyone's so taken back, and I'm like, my questions are all ready for, but it's all yours. They're like, you stumped everybody.
Yep.
All right, what is your question, sweetheart?
So if life was a video game, what is the one cheat code you would enact?
What?
Cheat code.
Oh man, I wish I knew more about video games. Like some kind of hack to the game.
You want to do another one?
He's got to explain what a cheat code is to me.
Okay.
So like unlimited lives or like ultimate strength or something like that.
Okay, cheat code.
Yeah, like if you're playing Super Mario, you never die. It's a cheat code. Or if you
ability to ability to like disappear and reappear in wherever you want through the game.
Oh wow.
How come?
That's a good one.
Because it's just easier. You don't have to like get through blocks and stuff. You can just like hop through walls. You can like someone can cut you in half and you just like jump behind them and like boom.
Yeah, I think I would use it in real life if I was in a conversation that I didn't want to be in, and I'd be like, "Oh, time to go." That's a good one. Okay, okay. Bye. Have fun. He's like inside playing video games. Like this is like his only time that I'm allowing him to like play video games, and I don't mind guys playing video games, but I feel like when they play for like 8 hours, I'm like, what the hell are you doing? Like, why?
That's why I don't actually have video games, because I'm one of those people, if I have it and I start, I will go down the rabbit hole. I just don't have it. I bought N64 a couple of years ago, and I was like, I'm going to beat that Mario game that I never beat, and I played for a week straight.
Really?
Like,
oh my God, it's the best
game. Oh
yeah.
Yeah, it was great. Yeah. But like, I can't have it in the house. There's like, like candy, video games, and like chips are not allowed in the house. I have to be willing to go out and buy them.
Yes, absolutely. It's so true. I can't keep things in the house that especially like candy, cake, candy, anything like that. I'm like, why would I do that to myself? I just bought roll-ups last week, and I was like, they're gone already. I was like, yep, I'm done. We're done. That was great. That was a nice little moment in my life. I haven't had roll-ups in over 10 years, but okay, thanks so much. It was great. But
remember you used to wrap around your finger, and then you'd suck on them, and your finger would be like purple and blue?
Yep, just like a child. Yep. I loved it. I almost got the Gushers, and I was like, no, I can't do that. But now they're coming back with Dunkaroos, and I'm like, ooh, that might...
You should get sponsorship by them, and you can make them like high jump over into the pit of like goofiness.
I've been trying. Somebody said, they were like, you should get a sponsorship by Swiffer, because I always jump over like my Swiffer cleaner all the time. That's what I do. And I was like, yeah, I should. I was like, that should definitely be like my thing that I do now. But I'm just trying to get sponsored in any way, shape, or form at this point. But Liz, thank you so much for being a part of the show. Thank you for being so great. I appreciate it. I love talking to you. It's always a great time. You have such a great personality. And I've definitely been watching all of your stuff. I wish you nothing but success and luck looking forward. And I hope that our paths cross sooner than later. Hopefully before the games.
Oh, yeah. John will make it work.
Yeah. I'll tell John. I'm like, I need to be wherever Liz is. Make it happen. Throw me in the jab for a beat. I'll be coming last.
Perfect.
Thank you so much, sweetie. I'll talk to you soon.
Okay, bye. Keep up your work.
Thanks, guys, so much. It's funny because I don't know what is up with my tripod today. It is just all over the place. But Liz is such a great person to follow when it comes to the steps of becoming, like, being an athlete. She is a 2-time Olympian. She is a gold medalist of the Pan Am Games. She's a silver medalist of the Pan Am Games. And so she's been through it for, like she said, over 10 years. And so her mindset and her focus are just very different, and her journey is very different. And so I've learned a lot from talking to her and working with her. She's recommended books. She's recommended different training techniques especially for like strengthening your muscles, lengthening your muscles, and things like that. So she's definitely a great person to follow if you're looking for inspiration and motivation. But I thank you guys for another edition of To Speak My Truth. And tomorrow, I'm very, very excited. I have Morgan Mitchell. If you guys don't know, she is the girl from the Netflix film about the athletes going vegan. I'm actually very excited to speak with her. She's had an amazing journey. She represents Australia, so I'm very excited to interview her tomorrow. I hope you guys have an amazing day. Enjoy the beautiful weather, and I'll talk to you soon.